Most likely your teachers got stories. You live life, you feel joy, you fuck up, you learn. This is what we do here. We relate the stories of insights learned. When these stories endure, they become legends. The mythology of how we got here. Because I was there at the beginning, I can share with you some of the Brave New Voices folklore. Hate was my great-great-grand, had several kids dispersed across several lands, and man co-opted and then made manifest parties like division and greed, murder, excess. Ignorance fell in love with hate, who by now had turned in on herself and burned within self. It would make your heart melt. There was this heartfelt connection between self-hate and ignorance. Came thence my racist parent. My parent racist. And traces of the seed originated with greed, so racist's primary need was to feed a hunger for eternity, universal props. He dropped the T, substituted with an M. He said, fuck the racist individual. I'm gonna be racism, an institution. And God complex delusions started cooling with my dad, gave him that, told him you all that. And racism got fat off his own PR, said, I am the star of this show. And there he go. He embedded himself in the cornerstone of all the new nations. He made himself chair of the House of Appropriations. Nothing was safe. So I wrote that poem in 1998. 2 years later, I co-founded Brave New Voices in the year 2000. 2 years of arc. So in 1999, all this crazy stuff in the year in between, all this crazy stuff happened where I was part of San Francisco's National Poetry Slam team. My student Biko won the You Speak Slam. The Bay Area put 3 teams on the final stage at the National Poetry Slam. 2 of those teams tied for first, and instead of doing a slam off, we decided to share the title. And then the next year, we hosted the first BNV in San Francisco with 16 teams. We were shaped by the slam, but having just won it, we were truly asking what's next. We were asking what else can the poem do? We each, all of us, got beginning stories. The line begins with our teachers. I took that first poem that you heard this morning and I built a choreo poem around it. Years later, a bunch of alums from Brave New Voices were performing the work as theater all over the world. So 5 years ago, I wasn't at Brave New Voices, but that poem was. And the Brave New Voices alum that were performing it, they were a kind of portal for the festival at our opening plenary. There are 2 dudes in the back. Kind of blurry in this still, which is fitting since they're both pretty humble cats. The dude on the far left, great, so one of those cats is Daveed Diggs, who won a Tony for his role in Hamilton. So 2 years before this picture was taken, he was on stage performing the poem that I wrote 20 years ago that launched Brave New Voices, Folklore. And then the dude that was on the far right that was next to him is Carvin's Lisan. Yeah. A Haitian cat who first slammed for a squad from New Jersey before he rocked with Urban Word. And he's now playing the role of George Washington on Hamilton's national tour. Yeah. Put the poem in your body. Write yourself in response to and then now. Extend the line. Brave New Voices is a harvest of verse-based narrative. We write ourselves into the future. Your teacher's call, what is your ability to respond? When we watch Blind Spotting later today, you can see the folklore evolving. You can see one direction that our values are taking us. Your poems this weekend are portals to new directions. We are responsible for where this shit goes next. So let's make folklore so dope that it bursts into fire and becomes legend. Yeah? Cool.